when I think of a marriage, there's so many ways that you guys can ruin each other if you really wanted to. Money should not be where we draw the line. Should you have joint accounts or separate accounts in a marriage? That's what we're talking about today. My name is Fopsy, and this kind of stuff is right up my alley. First, I'm going to talk about why money is really not about money. There's something else at play. I'm going to share an approach that people sometimes talk about how you can have separate accounts and still like make it work. I'll share what I think the biblical perspective is, and finally I'll bring it home and talk about my experience in the last 3-ish years of marriage. And you have to actually stay till the end because it comes down to a question that you have to answer before you get married, and that changes everything. So my name is Fopsy if you're new here, and I talk about relationship, career, and lifestyle topics. Stick around and let's get into it. So the first thing is that money is not just about money. It's about what money makes possible. It's about all the emotions that having money or not having money well up in us. And I really like how Esther Perel, who is a top relationship voice, a top psychotherapist, I like how she describes it. Let me read it to you and then we can just, get into it together. She says, money is about status, access, comfort, freedom, interdependence, trust, loyalty, betrayal, fairness, and more. Money is tied to our sense of self-worth. And you have to really pause there and think about it. Like, when you have money, you feel like, yeah, I'm all that. When you don't, sometimes you feel like trash. That's a bit harsh, but it kind of is true. When people are broke, sometimes we get withdrawn. So money is tied to our sense of self-worth and our ability to have power. So our sense of feelings of power and powerlessness. And look at that list of things I just read out: betrayal, fairness, power. These are the things that we really think about when we think about how much money we have. So when you're talking about money in a marriage, it's not just about the actual cash. It's about what it brings, what money makes possible in terms of what you can do with money and how you feel when you have money. So it makes sense that honestly we get stressed when we talk about money. And if your partner is struggling to, have this conversation with you, I'm just starting here so that we can feel empathetic towards each other about all these things. And money also is about how we grew up. If your father was unemployed or drunk or was abusive about money, if your parents fought a lot about it, if you grew up where there was no money at all and now you have a drive to make all the money and keep it for yourself, like, we don't just think about money in a vacuum. It's like a sum total of how we grew up, how the society tells us to think about money and all these things. So money is huge. And it's not just about the actual cash, it's about how we feel, it's about how people make us feel when we have it or don't have it. So it makes sense that we get so stressed about money. I understand that separate accounts can feel like freedom, maintaining a sense of individuality. And I'm going to pause here and show you this clip from Steve Harvey and how he describes a situation where you can have joint accounts and also separate accounts. So watch it.
I think that the whole checks, your check, my check, should go into the account. I think, no, listen to me. Scott, go somewhere, listen to me. They both go in the same account. Then the decision is made how much goes into your personal to do what you want to do and how much goes into my personal to do what I want to do.
Okay. I see how that could work, that you have joint and separate accounts because maybe you're just struggling to manage. One of you is really bad with money, and I feel like if you're really bad with money, you should learn because we should all be trying to improve. But it can help to reduce the amount of conflict you have to agree to bring all the money together, which is honestly the point of joint accounts. Bring all the money together in a joint account and then decide from there how much each person gets. This really helps to remove some of the imbalances in marriage. If one person earns significantly less than the other, part of the advantages of marriage should be that you both have access to the same resources, so nobody is able to lord it over the other person that, oh, you're not making as much money, because marriage means oneness. And if you're not one in every area, what's the point of getting married? That's the question, honestly. Marriage is oneness, so what's the point if you're not ready for oneness in your money as well? Later on in that video, Steve Harvey talks about the situation where what happens if you're making more than your husband, and there was a lot of women on that panel. So some of them had, I guess they were like not talking. Let me actually see what they said.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Oh, this is gonna be good.
Oh, lay it on us, Steve.
Let's say you all have a man and you're making more money than that man, and he wants the money to be split evenly after it goes into the bill paying and the saving, and you all want to get the same amount. How do you feel about that?
He's not getting.
Keeping separate accounts can lead to resentment because it leaves more power with the higher earner. And look at that example that Steve Harvey showed. The ladies were like, no, that's not going to work because they were already beginning to feel the hold to their money. You also postpone conversations about serious things that can happen in marriages, like what happens if one person's earning potential is significantly reduced by the loss of a job, an accident. What happens if one person's parent becomes chronically ill and a lot of money needs to go towards that treatment? How do you do your joint and separate account situation? What happens if one person needs to stay back home and take care of the kids? What happens, like, how do they get money in that sense? Like, you separate accounts still try to maintain a sense of individuality when really marriage is about oneness. That's my thing. Part of the process of coming to marriage is surrendering to each other, submitting to each other, which I guess we should just segue right into what the Christian perspective is. Joint accounts are just the beginning because full transparency is needed in a marriage. If you believe in the Bible, then you believe that when a man and woman come together to get married, the separate entities are gone and it's now one new entity. The two shall become one and there's no longer one and two. So the concept of trying to retain individuality is not biblical, and if you don't believe in the Bible, then I guess that's okay that you're going with that. But there's still a lot to be learned from the principles of the Bible and that concept of oneness. That's the concept that we're trying to drive home here, oneness. Nothing is owned without the other's knowledge. There's no you or me. Everything is we. Each one of us is responsible for the collective of us. The you and me situation is still trying to hold on to your individuality. And honestly, if that's your setup, then maybe common law might be a better approach. Part of the concept of marriage, the key concept is oneness. And if you can't agree with that, then that's the real conversation, that you don't agree that you truly are one. When I think of a marriage, there's so many ways that you guys can ruin each other if you really wanted to. There are ample opportunities to kill each other every single day. You cook each other's food, you sleep next to each other, you have access to each other's accounts and phones and things like that. If you wanted to destroy them, you have many ways to. And it's why trust is huge. I believe that everybody gets married excited and giddy, but it's still a little bit of this is actually a mind-blowing decision. You're releasing yourself to this other person. So if they have all these opportunities to ruin you or to help you, because if things go well, they can help you, then why is money the problem? In a marriage, it's more than a partnership. It's a true merging of lives. Money should not be where we draw the line. You guys have to raise kids together if you're having kids, and if the person is horrible, they're going to see all that. They're going to bring all that horribleness, both genetically and through nurture, to the child. Why is money where we draw the line? When you think about all these ways that people could be emotionally manipulative, physically abusive, why is it the financial place that is such a problem with us? I'm saying all this to say that before you get married, the question you need to ask yourself is, are we truly ready to become one? That's it. Yeah. Before you get married, ask that to your partner. Are we truly ready to become one? If you're not ready, then maybe table the conversation of marriage to later. Maybe go to marriage counseling. Maybe figure out things out. It's why prenups are a plan B. You're saying, you're deciding in advance that if this doesn't work, I have a way out, which makes sense because people want plan Bs in life, but I don't think it works in the sense of marriage. So to answer the question, should you join your account in a marriage or not? It depends on what your philosophy of marriage is. If you're ready for oneness, true oneness, joining your finances is another way to say, I'm all in. I value you more than money. I trust you. And let's put our money together. We're going to commit to communicating constantly, at least once a year. You should have goal setting sessions where you figure out what you want to do as individuals and what you want to do as a couple, and you both help each other reach those goals because you're committed to this union. And then you check on that quarterly, and your budget is a way to check on that every month as well and see that you're doing what you say you want to be doing. If marriage works properly, it can actually be a really great wealth building tool. I mean, that's not the main function of it, but it can be, because you can command more together than you can by yourselves. I know it can sound scary to merge everything and to say, okay, I'm all in, my money is your money is my money. Joint accounts communicate trust and transparency. It communicates our money it's our money, it's our expenses, it's our life. We've joined everything together, and I understand that can be scary. So I think you should talk to your partner and understand where they're coming from, understand what issues there might be, understand if you need support. And there is really no shame in seeking support. You can go to a financial advisor to help you understand your money situation. You can get financial coaches to help you get better with your money habits. You can get marriage counseling, because sometimes, like I said at the beginning, money is not just about money, it's about all the emotions that money brings up in us. So understanding all of this can help you really make better habits. And it's also not out of place to seek spiritual counseling from a pastor or someone you support spiritually, because the issues might be deeper rooted than just the money. It might be better to talk to someone who you trust and who has been supportive to you in other ways. The bottom line in this video, and the question you really need to answer, is, am I ready to become one with my partner? And if I'm ready, then I can go all in. Is my partner that I want to get married to, are they trustworthy? Do I like how they're dealing with money? All these questions should be answered before you get married. It's why the dating and the courtship process is about thinking through all these things. I have a video that I really recommend. It's about preparing for couple help for Christian couples. You should watch it. It has many questions that you can ask your partner about everything: money, babies, work, life, friends, everything. And I think that the best time to discuss all these difficult things is before you commit to each other in marriage. Marriage is a covenant, and money is just part of the ways you say we're ready to become one. These conversations are important to help us to feel equipped to live life better and not be fighting about money. I want you to contribute to this video. Respectfully tell me how you agree or disagree, and let's continue the conversations in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and watch another video before you leave. Thank you.